And eels was another thing when you were kids. There used to be thousands and thousands of eels in the river. If you put a worm in, and if it was still for any amount of time, you had an eel. And used to catch some big eels as well, not big as in 4 pound eels, but like pound eel was a big eel, £1.5 eel was a big eel, and there used to be no end of them. And again, my mum, I never forget, screams from the kitchen, run out to the kitchen, and she was very frightened. And there was a piece of skinned, cleaned, floured eel bouncing around on the floor because it had managed to get out the frying pan, and she thought it was possessed. But yeah, so I didn't take many eels home after that. But yeah, eel fishing. Like when I was 15, I was brought up on a housing estate in Carmarthen, which was only a 10-minute walk from the river. Everybody had a fishing rod. Everybody used to fish, but everybody was really secretive about what they caught. If you went down and you caught fish, you didn't tell anybody because everybody would be down there the next day, sort of thing. And the fish we used to fish for were always like fish that were moving through, or if you had low water, they'd stay there until you had water. The tide would bring them, and they'd sit in the lower pools and glides and runs the sewer, and they'd wait for rain to go on. So if it was like low water and fish had moved in, you kept it as quiet as you could, just so you could have the bounty. If somebody wanted to find them, they had to get out and find them. But coming back to eels, when I was 15 years old, I bought myself a Barber Game Fair jacket, which was the coat to wear, like, and it was really expensive, and I paid for it with eels. I used to catch eels, and I'd done a knot once where a knot of eels. We used to get like cobbler's cotton, and we'd go and pick lobworms in the night with a torch on the green, which is in the middle of the street, catch lobworms, and then used to thread lobworms on and make a knot of worms, and then used to have like line and then throw it into the pool, and then used to just feel it tug and pull it, and you'd have eels would hold on to it. And old Wally Rice, they say used to fill like a bathtub. The bathtub used to be a tin bath. Used to fill a tin bath of eels with a knot, before I was born. But I used to catch enough eels on rod and line. I used to put in the carrier bag, and Denny, who had a Chinese takeaway in Priory Street, used to buy all the eels off me alive, and like it was on the way home, sort of thing. And he used to give me 50p a pound, which was more than I paid for sewer at the time. And with that money, you need a lot of eels for a pound, and bookless eels. And I managed to save up enough money, £32 it was, to buy a Barber Game Fair jacket from the Lyric Sports Shop in Carmarthen off Calvert. Like. And old Nat Lewis, who lived across the road and a little bit further up, he was a fisherman, and he had a pair of Kingfisher waders, old like studded waders, and they were the best you could get, and they were ripped, and he gave them to me. They were 2 sizes too big, and I took them to ATS, and they'd done a thing called vulcanised them to seal them, and I gave my hand to move some tyres, and they didn't charge me. So there I was with my Kingfisher waders and my Barber Game Fair jacket, and I looked the part anyway. I looked the part.